Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen to me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now, guys. If you guys are able to listen to me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. No issues? Everybody's fine, everybody's great, right? Okay, great. We will be starting with React.Js from today itself, guys, because React is a very long topic and there's a lot to be covered right over there. So I want to introduce some new topics to you guys. Usually I teach the components, how to insert CSS into these components and all that, but I want you guys to learn a little bit more so that when you are working on your projects, we will be doing our own project. There's no questions in that. But when you'll be doing your own projects as well, I don't want you guys to be lost while doing it, right? I want you guys to be able to understand everything, to be able to pursue everything properly as well. So you don't have to worry about it, guys. Whatever is new, whatever new thing that we'll be learning, I will be explaining each and everything to you guys. Okay, and we have our Batman with us, so you don't have to worry. Wherever we are stuck, he will be coming into our rescue, right? Okay, let's continue with that. Let's do a quick revision about what we have studied in our yesterday's class, guys. Could you guys let me know what have we studied in our yesterday's class? Could you guys let me know what have we studied in our yesterday's class, guys? We studied about functions, calling functions, right? We studied how to create functions. We studied about arguments and parameters. Do you remember the short form that I told you guys yesterday? How to remember what is an argument and what is a parameter? Can you guys let me know what was the short form? DP and CA. Great, guys. Awesome. Okay, when you declare a particular function, what do we call it as? P, right? Parameters. And when you call a particular function C, it is called as an argument. CA, DP, and CA, guys. Okay. So these are some of the stuff that you guys need to remember, of course, because you are the ones who are learning. I can only tell you guys how easy it can be. Okay. Okay, the next particular thing that we need to understand about is that recently we have launched a new thing for you guys. I want you guys to see it as well. So let me just show it to you guys right now. Let me share my screen first. So this is something that we have started working upon it. It will take us some time to figure out how exactly to do it. Okay, we'll definitely like your feedback on it as well. And how should we take this further? If there is any kind of things that you want to contribute to it, you guys can reach out to me. I will help you guys figure out how to contribute to these things and all those kind of stuff. So let me just show it to you guys first. So the first thing that we have started right now is basically on our website we have created something called as DevTown Bytes. In this DevTown Bytes, we will be starting to post a lot of different things, but right now it is basically roadmaps, cheat sheets, videos, blogs that we will be creating, curating, and the community can also help us do that. If you want to contribute to it, we are more than happy to take in your contributions, get it checked, and post it on our site with your name, with your credentials right over there. So let us just look at some of these. I also don't know how many stuff we have put up. So for example, you are having the DevTown Bytes. This is basically has the night vision as well as the normal right over here. Okay, so these are the roadmaps that are there. For example, the front end web development roadmap right over here. So basic technologies, HTML, CSS, CSS frameworks, modern CSS, version control, JavaScript basics, DOP manipulation, advanced JS concepts, jQuery, React Angular of Vue, state management, React Angular of Vue. So there are various different things right over there. We are continuously increasing these roadmaps as well as trying to provide you guys with more objective kind of stuff rather than branching it out into giving you various different options. We want to make it very concise and very to the point so that you guys don't find it very difficult to understand, right? Similar to that, you are having the cheat sheets as well that we have started curating right now. For example, there is this cheat sheet on Python. Let's just see that. Even I don't know. It's basically done by our team itself. So arithmetic operators. Then you are having the basics. You are having the working directories, math functions, and many more. So these are basically page wise. There are multiple pages of cheat sheets that are there just to provide you guys a quick revision of some of the topics if you ever want to go there. For example, for videos, we are currently curating videos of our previous boot camps that were there. Even we'll be adding some fresh new courses right over here. For example, the 30 hours HTML, CSS, JavaScript course that we have currently built for you guys. The only problem that we are currently facing, it is 30 hours long, and we are not able to upload it on YouTube properly. So we are trying to figure out how to do that. So that is also ready right now, and multiple more things that I'm going to bring for you guys. For example, what is open source contributions? How can you get internships in open source contributions itself? How to participate into GSOC? How to prepare your entire resume for the same itself? What kind of packages can you expect if you're entering into open source contributions? What about data structures and algorithms? How is it different from getting a job through open source contributions itself? What about project based jobs? So how can I just focus on making great projects to land me a good job with a good company itself? So I'm going through every single possible combinations that you guys might be into, so that I'm able to give you guys the options as well as what is the best right over there. So all these things we are going to develop for you guys. We want DevTown to become one stop destination for you guys to decide what you want to do. The major problem that I see within you guys is that you don't understand what to do. You're like, okay, I will do a little bit of front end, I will do a little bit of back end, I will learn a little bit of data science and artificial intelligence, I will learn a little bit of blockchain, I will study Android development itself. Now, the major problem that I see is most of these things are irrelevant. And having being the jack of all trades with the master of none actually does not get you any kind of internships or jobs. You are just wasting your time. So I want you guys to be able to have a place wherein within the month you guys are actually able to understand that this is the field that I want to pursue. This is the roadmap that I have to do. This is the exact path that I can take. These are the resources that I can refer to. And that is what I want to create DevTown as. Now, of course, I cannot do it on my own, right? There's a lot to do right over here. I'm trying my level best to do as much as possible, but I will need a little bit of help from you guys as well. You guys are with us. You guys are currently being in the boot camp. You guys are focusing upon it. You guys are learning right over here. So at any particular point of time, if you want to contribute to DevTown in some way or the other, whether it is related to creating projects, whether it is related to creating some videos for DevTown, whether it is related to just studying a new topic, creating notes for us, anything that you guys are interested in, you guys want some guidance at any particular point of time, you guys can always reach out to me and I will always be there to help you guys out. Now, again, guys, like I said, DevTown is a non-profit organization. So whatever your queries are, whatever your questions are, it is only I who is able to like give the time and attention to it. So it might take me a little bit time to reach back to you guys, but I will definitely do it. Okay, so stopping right over there, let's continue with our today's class. Let's start with React.Js. Now, is everybody in this bootcamp able to understand why React.Js? This question. I think so. We have talked about it on the very first day of the class, right? Why is React.Js so important? Why do companies not use just HTML, CSS, JavaScript to create their websites? What is the requirement of this React.Js? Do you guys remember that, guys? Please let me know. And if you guys don't, then I will suggest you guys watch the first video back once again. You guys will be able to understand from right over there. Okay. Okay, great. So now that you guys are able to remember some of the stuff, let us try to understand how to use React.Js. Let us first go to React.Js original website itself. So let me open up your chat right over here, guys, that you guys don't tell me at a later point of time, sir, you are not listening to us. So let me just open up your chat. Okay, let us do this. Go to the video. I'll first like my own video. Okay, so let's get started with it. Let's go to React.Js, guys. So I'm just going to search for React.Js online. The first particular website that you are able to see right over here is the original documentation of React.Js. Okay, React.dev. This is the original documentation of React.Js, guys. Now, React.Js is something that has been created. Is it the original documentation of React.Js? Now, I'm confused right over here. Okay, that is not the original documentation of React.Js, but great that somebody is able to list above on that. So legacy.reactjs.org. This is the official documentation of React.js. That is what I was thinking about. That okay. So they have shifted to a new website. No issues in that. Okay, so this is your React.js official website, guys. This is what is being maintained by the community who is behind React.js. Again, React.js as a software was created first by Facebook. Facebook is the one who created it, and hence every single product of Facebook, whether it be WhatsApp, whether it be Instagram, whether it be your Facebook in general, has been created using React.js, and hence the popularity amongst the crowd. Now, React.js right now is open sourced. Now, if you guys don't know what is the meaning of the term open source, so that basically means the source code. So any software that you're using, let's assume I'm using a software that is Windows operating system. I'm using this software. Now, what is the software? It is nothing else but just code, right? At the back end, it's just code. Now, you are not getting the access to the code inside of the software that basically runs the software Windows OS, right? You are not able to get access to that code. Now, what does some companies do is that there are multiple things that multiple companies do. First, they will say that if you want to use our software, you will have to pay us. Okay. If you want to use my software, you will have to pay us. I will just give you the software. I'll not give you the code. I'll give you the software. Some companies say that, okay, you pay us and I will give you the software as well as the code. You are having the license to it. You can change something about it. You can use it according to yourself. You can edit the code. You can add some more functionality right over there. Some companies say that I will give you a free version of my software to use and then I will charge you for it at a later point of time. Whenever you want more of my software, you will have to pay me. Some companies say that, okay, I will provide the entire code of my software for free. I will open source my software. What does open source mean? That the software, the code behind the software is available to everybody to see, to use, and to modify according to their own preferences. That is the meaning of the term open sourced itself. Now, due to this particular open source nature, there becomes a very large community behind these great projects. React.js is used in every single company. It is so much in demand that there is a very huge backing for this project. And hence, the functionalities, the features keeps on changing, keeps on adding up. And this has become into a very booming industry itself. Now, as you're able to see this, the meaning of the term React.js, the library for web and native user interfaces. Now, this becomes very complicated to understand, right? What is a library for web and what is native user interfaces? What is happening right over here? Let's try to break it down first. What is a library? You guys are all in colleges. You must have been in schools as well. Everybody has a library in their colleges and schools. What happens in a library? You enter into a library. Let's assume I want to learn HTML. I want to learn how to cook chicken. That is what I want to learn. I want to learn cooking and I want to learn how to cook a chicken. Now I'll go into the library. There will be a section devoted to just cooking. Inside of that section, there will be some books related to cooking chicken. I can take out that book. I can use that book to gain the knowledge and the tools necessary for me to do my original aim, that was cooking chicken. And then I can return that book back. In a similar manner, while building websites, there are a lot of different things that you need to do. For example, you might want a particular component to be rendered at some particular event that is happening. You click on a button. According to the click of the button or according to the scroll of your mouse itself, the item on the behind, the MacBook on the behind should flip itself over or do something for you. You want these things to happen, right? Now, for that to happen, React.js will have some inbuilt tools. You don't have to do everything from the scratch. There'll be multiple tools, just like these books that were there inside of these libraries. There'll be multiple tools, multiple books inside of React.js that you can utilize to do a particular task. Now, that task is depending upon the website that you're creating. We are going to see some of those tasks to understand why do we call it as a library. But are you guys able to get a gist of it, that why do we call it as a library? Because there are multiple books, multiple tools that are present inside of this React.js library that you can use to do the work that you are intended to do. Instead of doing everything from scratch, trying and testing all these different methods to cook chicken, now you have a book that will guide you step by step on how to cook chicken. Okay. Now, what do you mean by native? Okay, so let's first understand what is user interfaces. Please try to understand one thing. Okay. Your so for that we need to understand what is backend web development. So when you go to a restaurant, everybody has been to a restaurant, right? When you go into a restaurant, you sit at the you are the user right now. You going to a restaurant to order food to eat right over there. We will be calling you as a user. You as a user go to a restaurant, you sit right over there, it's great ambience, everything looks amazing. Okay, like you call in the waiter takes your order right over there, then he goes to the kitchen. Now the food isn't prepared in front of you, right? It is not as if you say, okay, I want a pizza, and then the chef comes to your table. He's like, okay, this is the flour, this is the water, this is the oil. I'm going to prepare the dough in front of you. This is the tomato, this is the leaves, these are the basil leaves, these are onions. I'm going to cook the entire sauce in front of you. What spices and everything I will show you right over here. That does not happen, right? Because if he cooks the entire pizza in front of you, you will know how to cook that pizza. You will stop coming. You will understand that I'm paying 2,000 rupees for a pizza that takes 200 rupees to cook. Next time you will cook it at your home because you know all the secret ingredients right now. What are the temperatures? How to cook the pizza? Everything you know right now. So that is the reason why they cook everything inside of a kitchen, because that is their business idea, business logic. Their business revolves around the fact that you don't know how to cook. You don't know how to cook restaurant grade type of food itself. That is the reason why you're going to pay us to make that food for you. Now, if that logic is lost, then their business will go down, right? So they have something called as the kitchen. Inside of the kitchen, all the food, all the stuff gets prepared. So this is the exact thing that happens with websites as well. When you're coming to a particular website, for example, let's assume I'm coming to my LinkedIn profile itself. When I'm going over my LinkedIn profile, this is called as the front end, just like the front end of a restaurant, where you sat, where you gave your order, where you interacted with the restaurant itself. In a similar manner, this is the front end of your website. But where is this data coming in from? Where is this picture of mine coming in from? Where is this background picture coming in from? Where is this messages coming in from for me? Where is this like network connections coming in from me? Where are these posts coming in from me? These are not on my computer. All these posts are not on my computer. It is saved somewhere in the back end. Now this backend is nothing else but just code which is sending, okay, show these posts for Shorasana, show these images, show these messages. These are meant for just Shorasana. And every one of you will get these type of posts and these type of stuff itself right over there. Okay. So in a similar manner, this is back end of a website. Now, what happens? Everybody right over here knows about Nike, right? So you want to order food, shoe from Nike. What are the different methods of doing that? First, open up your phone, go to the Nike app, order some Nike shoes right over there. You will get the Nike shoes. Second method, open up Amazon, order the Nike shoes from Amazon itself. Third particular method, go to your nearest Nike showroom, not showroom, shop, okay, and get your shoes from right over there. The fourth particular method is there are some malls, inside of it, multi-branded shoes are available. You can buy your Nike shoes from right over there. Now, although the front end from where you are purchasing, where you are interacting with the Nike shoe is actually different, but where is this Nike shoe coming in from? Does the website have a different like a warehouse and a different factory where the Nike shoe is being prepared? The shop has a different factory where the Nike shoe is prepared? No, the back end of all these places are actually the same. They share the same warehousing, they share the same raw materials, the same factory. Just that you as a user are able to interact with the same shoe from different places. Are you guys able to understand this? You as a user are able to interact with the shoe from different places itself, right? In a similar manner, when you access Amazon, you go to amazon.in. That is the website. You go to the Android app of Amazon. You go to the iOS app of Amazon. You go to the TV app. So TV also has an app for Amazon itself. There's a Watch OS app for Amazon as well. All these different places are different front ends, but they share the common back end itself. So, for example, for your website, there's not a different backend. For your Android app, there's not a different backend. Everybody has the same backend, the same factory from where all the data, all the pictures, all the products that you're using is coming, all that information is coming from the backend. But the front end, where you are interacting with the company Amazon.com or Amazon.in, is actually different. Now, in that particular way, when you have something that is native to the phone that you are in, for example, an Android app cannot work in an iOS phone, an iOS app cannot work in an Android phone, a TV app, let's assume a Google OS TV app, a smart TV app, cannot work in either Android phones or iOS phones, right? Are you guys able to understand? So these are called as native applications. And all these different places, whether it be a website, whether it be a Android app, an iOS app, a TV app, is called as user interfaces, wherein the user is actually interacting with your product. Are you guys able to understand this? This is the place where the user is actually interacting with your product. So it is called as user interfaces. And what is local? For example, Android apps will only work on Android phones itself. These are called as native applications because it is native to the device that they are running on. So what is being said right over here about React.Js is that this is a library for web. So you can build websites and native. That means Android apps, iOS apps, web apps, AR, VR apps, TV apps, watchOS apps. You can build all that. And these are user interfaces. That means it is the front end. You can build these front ends right over here. That is the meaning of the term native and user interfaces and all these kind of stuff. So now that we have done the crux of React.Js, I don't think so we should waste a lot of time understanding this, but basic understanding should be there with you guys so that you are able to understand that you don't have to study Android development, iOS development separately. If you want to go into app development as well, you still have to learn React.Js. Learning React.Js makes you proficient in both building apps as well as websites. That is the biggest benefit of using React.Js. Okay, so let's get started with our very first thing, that is React.Js, how to use React.Js itself. So we will go on Replit, guys. We'll go on Replit first. Replit, Replit. Inside of Replit, I'll create a new thing itself. Okay, so inside of Replit, let's create a new REPL, and we will select the REPL that is React JavaScript, guys. Okay, we'll select React JavaScript. You can actually search for templates as well. If you're not able to see, you can just search for REACT React. Okay, it will give you React JavaScript. You want to select that. This will create an environment for us, an online environment where we'll be easily able to use React.js for our own purpose. Let's create this REPL, guys. Once this REPL has been created, it will give it 2-3 seconds, guys, so that it gets created and we are able to use it as well. Okay, so once it has been created, it will come with some default code as well. We don't want a default code. We'll be removing the default code. We'll be doing everything from the utmost scratch, that we are able to understand step by step what is the meaning of each and every sentence, each and every line of code that exists. That is our main purpose, right? So let the CPU cool down first, otherwise it won't work properly. So as you're able to see, CPU is way too red. So it will cool down in a second or two. So we'll give it time. Otherwise, it might hang and it might not work out properly. So some people are saying zoom out, and some people are saying I'm not able to see this stuff clearly on your screens. Guys, you guys figure out what you want from me. I can only help you guys that much, right? The CPU is not going low. Okay, at any particular point of time, if you're facing the same error, so for example, right now we are having the CPU running very red and we are not able to use either the CPU or the RAM. If you're facing such type of problems, I'll suggest you an alternative. There is something called as Code Sandbox, guys. Okay, Code Sandbox. Let me just search that for you guys. As you're able to see, Code Sandbox right over here. So this is an alternative to Replit. Again, a free alternative, guys. If that is not working for you, you guys can use Code Sandbox as well. Again, it is up to you guys that what you prefer. As you're able to see, even I'm using the free version. I'll show you guys right over here. So sign in to Code Sandbox. I'll sign in using Google. Blah, 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 blah. Shape your ed. Of course, you can do things on Atom and VS Code as well. That is up to you guys, whatever you guys prefer. I'm using Code Sandbox and Replit so that people without a particular laptop or a computer can also do the stuff properly. what is happening right over here. I'll just refresh the website. Okay, so you guys can select a new sandbox from here and then select React. So if you guys want to use code sandbox, you guys can do that as well. Okay, okay, so let's use code sandbox for this particular class just so that you guys are being familiar with it. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to remove app.js. Okay, inside of the file system, as you are able to see right over here, the first thing that you are able to see is the app.js file, guys. We are just going to remove it. We don't require that file for right now. We will be creating it in the future, so just remove it for right now. Okay, so to understand the importance of that file, you are having the index.js, so we'll just remove everything. So this is the index.js file, guys. We'll select everything from this file and we'll delete everything so that we are able to start from the utmost scratch, from the utmost basics. Okay, so now that has been done, the browser we can open. So whatever website that you're going to build right over here, that will come up on this particular website. So we can just open that up in a new tab. So there will be two rectangles on the right hand corner saying open in new window. You guys can just click on that. It will open up the website in a new tab, so that we are able to close it right over here. We actually don't require it. And that's it. So you're having the files on the left hand side, you are having your code in the middle, and then you are having your website right over here. Whatever changes that you will do, it will appear right over here. Now again, this is just JavaScript, guys. We have installed. So when you're creating a sandbox, it comes installed with React.Js directly, so you don't have to do that for on your own. Now it is there in the background. It is as if Batman is present in the background, but we have to tell JavaScript that, dude, we require this React.Js. Without that, we cannot work properly. We require this React.Js, guys. So we are going to create a const, okay, because we don't want to change this. And we are going to name it as React. This const is going to contain for us require. We're going to tell JavaScript that we require the React library. Okay, the React library that is there, we require it. And this React, as you are able to see, when you require the library, the entire library gets fetched. The entire library that is present in the background. The entire library that is present in the background gets fetched. That, okay, bring in the entire React library. Our person requires it. But we need to save it somewhere so that we are actually able to use it, right? So you're saving the entire React library into a constant that you have created called as React, so that we are able to use it at a later point of time. Now, why have we done this? What is the importance of this React library? So again, although we write React.js right over here, that this is the React library, it has a particular feature inside of it that we are going to talk about. It is called as Babel. Now, what is Babel? Why do we require it? What is the importance of that? What is ES5, ES6? What is JavaScript XML? Okay, JSX. All that we'll be learning about it in our class today. Okay, do not rush forward with it. But right now, try to understand that we have brought in the entire library and saved it inside of a constant called as React right over there. Now, why const? Why not a variable, right? That question might arise in your head. Now, if you are saving it as a variable, later on, I can just change that. I can just say that from today, React is called as Shore Sinha. Your entire library is gone right over there. So we want it to be constant, that this React should always contain the entire library. Nobody should be able to change it inside of my code. Okay, that is the reason why we have created it as a const or a constant itself. In a similar manner, we require another library that is associated very closely with React and always used together. That is the React DOM library. Now, this particular library actually helps you to render, to actually show all the components, all the things that you're going to create on your website. So that is not handled by React. So there is another library that is there called as the React DOM library. This is what basically shows that, okay, any new notification is there, it should be shown immediately. Any new stuff, that any kind of new post is there, it should be shown immediately. It should not reload the entire, refresh the entire page itself. You want to push up a button on your website, that should be done directly itself. You don't have to worry about that. So all that is used, okay, all that is you like present inside the React DOM library. So we require that as well. So const React DOM is equal. Okay, that does not feel right, so I will use DOM is equals to require React DOM. Now that we have required both the things right over here, guys, the next thing is to show something on our website. Like I've already told you, the library that you actually use to show something, to render something. So do you guys understand the meaning of the term render in normal English? I don't know programming, I don't know video editing, I don't know anything. I just want to understand the meaning of the term render in normal English. What do you guys understand by the term render in normal English, guys? Can you guys let me know? Can you guys let me know what is the meaning of the term render in normal English? Some alterations, okay. Display something, okay. To load something, to give something, processing something, showing something, okay, to provide something, to fetch something, borrow something. Okay, majorly the term render basically means to show something, to display something, to give, to load up something. I'm loading this thing to display on your screen. So right now we want to render a particular hello world on our website. That is all that we want to do. Again, a new topic, a new technology. Start with hello world. I want to show hello world. I want to render hello world to my website. And like I've already told you, all this rendering, all this showing something on your website is actually handled by React DOM, not by React. Why React is important? We will be learning something about it, but it is handled by React DOM. So we'll ask React DOM very politely that Mr. React DOM, can you help me render something to my website? Let's start with right over there. So React DOM dot render. So render basically takes in two attributes. What do you want to render and where do you want to render? Okay, what do you want to show? So what to show and where to show. It takes in two attributes, guys. What do you want to show? So I want to show hello world, right? What do you want to show? I want to show hello world. So I will just remove everything from right over here and put up, I want to show hello world and where to show. Now where to show, so basically try to understand your browser, any browser in the entire world actually reads only one page of code. I know this is a very like tricky thing to understand, but the real fact is that browsers don't read your CSS code, they don't read your JavaScript code. They read only one particular code, that is your skeleton, that is HTML. Now if your HTML says that okay, there is a JavaScript file, then they read it. Okay, there is a CSS file, then they read it. But the only code that they actually read is the HTML code. So what we want to do is where to show, I want to tell the exact location inside of my HTML file where I want to show this hello world. Please try to understand it once again. I want to place the exact location inside of my HTML file where I want to showcase my particular hello world. Now, HTML might be a new topic for many of you guys. That is the reason why I'm going to tell you a little bit about HTML. So HTML or hypertext markup language has a term markup language at the end. Now, this markup language is a very common thing that even if you don't know the meaning of markup language, you are actually using markup languages every single day. Now, what is this language that you're using that you don't even know that it is called as a markup language? What do you understand when you term markup? Markup basically means to increase or to increase the information being transferred by some particular language. Now, how can I do that? How can a same line of language can mean multiple different things by changing something right over there? So a great example of that is emojis. So if I'm saying, what are you doing? Okay, but I'm using a smirk like emoji at the end. Okay, like, what are you doing? Huh? I'm teasing you right now. What are you doing? So that is the first particular step, that I use an emoji right over there. A text is there. What are you doing? The meaning now changed into teasing, right? I'm using an angry emoji at the end. What are you doing? I'm angry right now. The same text, not changing anything in the text. Just by changing the emoji, I was able to convey another knowledge right with it. That I'm angry with you right now. I'm using a particular laughing emoji. What are you doing? So I'm laughing. Okay, what are you doing, man? It's fine. It's great, right? So just by changing emojis, you are able to increase the amount of knowledge being transferred right over there. This is called as markup languages. And HTML as well is a markup language where instead of using emojis, we don't use emojis inside of HTML. We use something called as tags. Okay. Now these tags basically identify as well as increase the amount of knowledge being transferred. For example, there is one tag that is called as the H1 tag that we are going to use right over here. It is called as the heading tag or the H1 tag. So whatever text that you put inside of the H1 tag, it will make it big and bold, just like a heading of a newspaper. If you put any kind of text or context inside of an H1 tag, it will make it big and bold. So it increases the amount of knowledge being transferred by the same text. Okay, similar to that, there are multiple different tags that exist. Now, because there can be multiple H1 tags, multiple heading tags inside of, so let's just see some of these tags. We will be seeing that inside of the public, you will be able to find the index.html right over here. For example, this is an head tag, right? Then this is your body tag right over here. This is the no script tag. This is a div tag right over here. So this is the location between this div tag right over here. I want to show hello world on my screen. This is the exact location where I want to show hello world on my screen. Now I can have thousands of div tags on my website. Not one, not two, thousands of div tags on my website. How to identify them? There can be 20 different Shaurya Sinhas inside of a particular college or inside of a school, right? 20 Shauryas. How are you going to identify which Shaurya are you talking to? But each of these Shauryas will have a unique ID, a unique roll number, right? No two Shaurya, no two students in the entire college will have the same roll number or the same ID. Do you guys agree with me or not? Do you guys agree with me or not? No two students inside of the entire college will have the same ID, right? Everybody will have a unique ID, a unique roll number. In a similar manner right over here, even if there are thousands of different div tags inside of my website, this particular div tag has been given a unique ID. No other div tag will have the same ID, guys. No. So if you are ever going to attend the 30 hours master camp that we have planned for you guys, which is again certified as well as free, as well as self-paced as well. So there you will be learning everything about HTML, templates, forms. Then you will be learning about tables. You'll be learning about CSS. You'll be learning about all the things inside of JavaScript in a very lot of depth. So in this bootcamp, this is not what we are here to learn for, but you can even join the next bootcamp, that is the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript bootcamp, where you will be creating the Facebook clone, sorry, the Flipkart code clone right over there. So you will be able to understand a lot more about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But here, for our purpose, we just want to understand how to access this div tag that has the ID of root. We have to tell inside of JavaScript. This is not the place where we know that this is the place where we want to put our hello world, but we want to tell that inside. So it's easy to say because we are humans, right? And this is where we want to put it. Okay, put it right over here itself. But inside of JavaScript, you will have to use JavaScript code to tell what I'm telling to you guys right now. How to do that? The first thing that you guys need to remember is that the HTML file, the index.html file. See, guys, again, what is the div tag? Why is the div tag important? Is not important for you guys right now. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to do anything, because this is not an HTML, CSS, and JavaScript bootcamp. This is a React.Js bootcamp. We need to focus upon React.Js. Nevertheless, if any new topic comes up, I will be explaining it to you guys. You don't have to worry about it. For right now, we just want to understand how to tell inside of JavaScript that I want to put my hello world inside of a particular tag that is called as a div tag. Now, what does that div tag do? There is no point into learning that right now. But of course, we will have to learn it because we have to use it inside of React.Js as well. But still, right now, let's focus upon what we are here to learn. Okay. So where to show? So the index.html file that is there is also called as the document inside of JavaScript. The index.html file, this file wherein you are having the div tag, is also referred to as the document inside of JavaScript. So first of all, I want to show it inside of the document, right? So I will just select document dot. Now inside of the document, I want to get the element by its ID. The tags are also referred to as elements. Okay, inside of JavaScript, instead of HTML, we call it as tags, right? Instead of JavaScript, we call it as elements. Okay, these are some terminologies. You need to understand that. You need to remember it. There's no point otherwise. Okay, so this tag that you refer to as in HTML is called as a particular element inside of JavaScript. Now I want to get that element that has the ID of root. I want to get that child with the roll number of BTech 10182. Okay, so that is how you are saying this, that I want to get a student whose roll number is this. Here I want to get an element who has the ID of root. Now to do that, it's very simple. Document dot get element by ID. Is that a JavaScript? That method is already created for you. Document dot get element by ID. Inside of this document index.html, get the element which has the ID of root. As simple as that. Get the element which has the ID of root. That's it. That is all that you have to do right over here. Now, once you write that, please do not forget the semicolon at the end again. Okay, please not forget the semicolon at the end, guys. Otherwise, you guys will be blaming me at a later point of time. Once you have saved this, if you go back to our website, as you're able to see, Hello World is coming up on our website. Okay, it's able to see this. Are you guys able to see this? Hello World is coming up on our website, guys. Are you guys able to see this? So we have used React.Js to put up a text that is Hello World inside of HTML at a particular location which has an ID of root. Now I don't want to just send a particular Hello World, right? I want to send an HTML tag, that is the H1 tag, that will make this Hello World big and bold. I already told you guys about the H1 tag, right? The heading tag. If we use the heading tag, it will make the text big and bold. Now, usually inside of JavaScript, every tag has an opening tag and a closing tag. You need to tell when is the tag starting, when is the tag ending, and in between the text is there, that is which will be affected by that tag. So if we go back, we can do that right over here inside of the quotation marks. We'll put up our H1 tag, the opening H1 tag. This is how you create the opening H1 tag, guys. Here we're creating the closing H1 tag. So again, an H1 tag right over here as well. This is called as the closing H1 tag. Now, again, the H1 tag basically creates the website as big and bold, guys. Let me just get my phone because my tablet just got discharged. So I will require my phone. I will have to enter the live chat once again. Give me a second, guys. Okay. So the H1 tag or the heading tag will make this text Hello World big and bold. Let us save this. Let us go back to our website. Okay. Did I make any kind of error right over there? Okay, sorry. Please do remove the quotation marks, guys. That was a mistake from my end. Initially, it was just a string that we wanted to pass. Right now, we want to pass the entire HTML itself. So just remove the quotation marks, guys. I forgot to do that. Just pass the H1 tag and then the hello world inside of it. You don't require the quotation marks right over here. We'll save this. We'll go back to our website. And as you're able to see right now, our hello world is big and bold. It is no longer the thin thing that was coming up on our website. Are you guys able to see it? The hello world is now big and bold, guys. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to see this? It is now big and bold, guys. Now, are you guys able to find something wrong? Like, see, I'm not talking about anything related to programming. I'm not talking anything related to JavaScript. I'm just talking about if you knew that, okay, there is a programming language of JavaScript that is called as JavaScript. You knew so there is something called as HTML and they're not related to each other. Can you find something that is bizarre? That is something that is awkward. This is just related to IQ, guys. This is just like a Sherlock Holmes type of detective stuff. Nothing related to programming. Can you find something that is odd within this code? That something is wrong right over here. I'm not able to understand how this happened. Can you figure that question out? I want somebody to figure that out, guys. Any one of you is also correct. That's great. That means we are going in the right direction and I'm teaching okay. And if nobody answers, then there's something wrong with my teaching, I guess. How do you link HTML and React? Very close to the question, not like actually at the point. It is like near the bullseye, but a little bit further away. HTML inside of JavaScript. Okay, so I'm teaching well. Yay. So the question basically is, if this is a JavaScript file, if this is a JavaScript file, index.js, we are supposed to be writing JavaScript code right over here. Supposed to be writing JavaScript code right over here. Why is there HTML code present right over here? There's no relation between HTML and JavaScript, right? There's no relationship between HTML and JavaScript. Why is JavaScript code present right over here? Is anybody of you know the answer of this? Anybody? Like, see, if even if you're wrong, it's totally fine. We are here to learn. We are not here to say right and wrong. We are here just to learn. Even I am here just to learn as well, right? There's no issues on being wrong. Not we are not gods, right? We cannot be right all the time, and not just being right, but we are also not the creators of all this. We are learning it right now. So, can any of you point out one particular thing that why could this have happened? Anybody? It's totally fine, guys. Even if you are wrong, and the answer is very clear: JSX. Okay, so here you are actually not using JavaScript. So what we have been studying up till yesterday is what we refer to as vanilla JavaScript, guys. That is referred to as vanilla JavaScript. Vanilla JavaScript is the most easiest and the most basic form of JavaScript that exists. Okay, the easiest and the most basic form of JavaScript that basically exists is called as vanilla JavaScript, guys. What we are using right over here is called as JSX, or the full form of that is JavaScript XML. Okay, JavaScript XML. Now, why is JSX used? What is JSX? What is the utilization of JSX? That is what something that we need to understand right now. Now, the reason why we are using JSX is very simple. If you were to write the exact same thing that we are doing right over here, that is using React and then sending HTML on our website, just using vanilla JavaScript, it would have taken you at least 3 lines of code to do the exact same thing. And as your website gets larger and larger, the code will become much more complex. How easy is this code? What do you want to show? Where do you want to show? Let's do that. As simple as that. Nothing too complicated about it. But the same thing if we wanted to do using just vanilla JavaScript, then there's a whole lot of things that we'll have to do, and the code will get much more complex with time. It won't get easier for us. And that is the reason why we use JSX, wherein it is not exactly HTML, it is not exactly JavaScript, it is somewhere in the middle. But please try to understand it. This is not pure JavaScript. This is not pure HTML. So don't confuse this that, okay, this is HTML from now onwards. No, you are not putting HTML inside of JavaScript. This is something very different built just to make sure that you writing code becomes easier for you. It's called as JSX. Now, JSX, and like I said, now your browsers, your computers cannot understand JSX directly. Like I said, it is not pure JavaScript, it is not pure HTML as well. So just like, let's see how this looks like inside of JavaScript. Shall we see that? Shall we see how this looks like if I wanted to do this using pure JavaScript? How would I have to do it? Should we see that, guys? Should we see that, guys? I'm not able to see your chats, guys. There's some issues with the chat. My chat has been frozen right now. I'm trying to refresh the chat, but it is not working for me. I have no idea why this is happening. Okay, so let's see how can we write the exact same code using just pure JavaScript. We'll not be using JSX anymore, guys. Give me a second. Let me just open up the chat once again. Give me a second, guys. भाई काम कर जा, इज्जत का बात है भाई, ऐसा ना कर. Okay, so the chat is working fine right now, guys. Let me just open up the same. Now, again, the code that I'm currently going to write, you don't need to understand it. Again, I'm saying this to you guys because this is not something for your understanding. I'm writing this to show you how difficult it is to write the exact same code using just vanilla JavaScript. Again, I will try to explain it to you guys, but even if you don't understand it, it's totally fine. Okay, first we'll create a variable called as h1, which will save our HTML that we want to send to our website. Okay, so to do that, again, because this you are using JavaScript. Now this is called as DOM, or document object model, DOM manipulation. Okay, so this is using JavaScript. You want to create an h1 tag. Just like right over here, using JavaScript, you wanted to find a location inside of the HTML file. Here, using JavaScript, you want to create an h1 tag. Okay, so do that again. Document dot create element. Now again, element is what we refer to as tags inside of JavaScript. We have already talked about it. The element that we want to create is the h1 tag. First, we created the element. The next thing that we are going to do is we want to put hello world inside of this tag that is called as h1. We want to put hello world, this text hello world, inside of this tag called as h1, guys. To do that, we use h1 dot inner html. Hope so this is correct. This will assign the text hello world inside of, so the text that is present inside of the HTML, inside of the h1 tags is called as inner HTML. We are trying to access that. So hello vanilla. I have no idea what is the spelling of vanilla. I hope so I've written the correct spelling. And then we want to select the element that is root, because that is where we want to render the h1 tag, right? We want to select the element root right over there. So that we have already seen how to do that. So document dot get element by id root dot, and under the root, inside of the root itself, we want to put our h1 tag that contains the hello world inside of it. So inside of the element that we have selected, that is the root element itself, we want the element with the id root, we want to put up our h1 tag. So append child. So append child basically means the parent element is our root tag, and inside of that we want to append the new tag right over there, and that will be h1. Save. So we'll go back to our website after writing these 3 lines of code. We'll refresh our website right over here, and it is not coming up. Did I make any errors? Let me make it a little bit smaller. Okay, what error have I made? Var h1 document blah 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 h1 dot inner html hello vanilla document dot get element by id root dot append child h1. This is not an error that I've made. I just need to shift it down below, I guess. Save. It should be working. So hello vanilla is coming up on our screens right now. So what is happening right over here is whatever you did using JSX is actually what you're doing using vanilla JavaScript right now. Both of them are actually the same, guys. Append child. So here the parent element is the element with the ID of root. That is the parent element. And inside of that, you're attaching, you're appending a child. Appending a child basically means attaching, and inside of it your particular h1 tag right over there. So as you're able to see, we are getting hello vanilla, but this hello vanilla is coming from vanilla JavaScript, and this hello world is coming from JSX for us. Now if you see this, what is actually going to happen is that when you write this particular line of code that is in JSX, there is a particular compiler called as Babel inside of React, guys. This is where React comes into picture. It has a compiler. Think about compilers as translators between two people. Like one person is speaking in Hindi, other person is speaking English. They are not able to understand each other. There should be somebody in the middle who is able to translate stuff for them, right? In a similar manner, this is called as Babel. This is a compiler present in the middle, which basically reads this exact line of JSX code. It reads this exact line of JSX code, guys, and it compiles it into this pure JavaScript code. So instead of you writing your code entirely in this pure JavaScript and making a code huge, you're not able to understand your code. Your Babel does that for you. You write your code easily. You write your code in the simple JSX format that you know of. Babel will handle that for you. Babel will do the translations from JSX to JavaScript, pure JavaScript, that your browsers are able to understand and use. This Babel is present inside of our React library itself. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Are you guys, again, guys, this 3 lines of code, I'll suggest you guys to try it out once yourself. Okay. The reason for that is in many of the interviews related to React.Js, interviews for internships, mostly internships and fresher jobs, these are very, very, very commonly asked questions that what is Babel, what is the utilization of Babel, and they will basically give you this exact line of code, because this is the most well-known code inside of React.Js, the most easiest first step into React. So they will give you this code, and then they will ask you to write the vanilla JavaScript code of that. So this is important for you guys to learn and to remember for interview point of time for your internships and jobs. That is the reason I've taught you guys this. Okay. Will that be fine? Will that be something that you guys will be able to practice after today's class? Can you guys do that for me? Can you guys do that for me, guys? Please let me know. I'm not asking something very big from you guys. Just it is for you guys at the end of the day, right? If you guys are remembering this, you guys are going to an interview, you guys are showing a certificate of DevTown. They're going to ask you questions related to these topics. You should be able to answer them. It shouldn't come back to me that DevTown doesn't teach all these things properly to the kids, right? So if it's possible, do practice this out after today's class. Just basic stuff itself. Uh, Now tomorrow onwards, we will be creating our very first components. How to create a component, how to use the component, how to convert them into a file-like structure. What is app.jsx? Why do we require app.jsx? A small project to understand this concept of things itself. What is the difference between, again, like I said, please don't treat it as an HTML code. This is not HTML code. Although it appears like HTML code, it is not HTML code. Even this small part is JSX, guys. It is different from HTML. Always remember that. There are some changes that we will be seeing from normal HTML when you're using JSX that you will have to get used to with practice. Okay. So that is what something that I will request from you guys to do. Okay. Nevertheless, guys, I will give you guys the attendance right now. If you guys have any questions or any queries, I've already provided you guys with the link of my Instagram ID as well as my LinkedIn ID itself. You guys can always approach me right over there. I will always help you guys out as much as possible. Okay. Any questions, any queries, something like that. After taking up today's attendance, I will be explaining you guys what are the 5 pillars of web development. So this will happen after I've given you guys the attendance. You'll have 5 minutes to fill up the attendance. I will be staying back in the class, guys. I'll be explaining what are the 5 pillars of web development and how you can get jobs in web development by studying these 5 pillars of development itself. So if you guys have any questions or any queries, you guys can always approach me. Nevertheless, after the attendance, the class is not over. I will be helping you guys out with understanding what are the 5 pillars of web development and how to basically study them as well. Okay, just an understanding about this topic. So after filling up the attendance, if you want to go, you can go, but I cannot guarantee that there will be no other attendance after the after this. If you're going, you will be missing out on the second attendance. I don't know if I will be taking it or not. The attendance will be closed exactly at 9:18, guys. Please start filling up the attendance right now. The attendance will be closed exactly at 9:18, guys. Please start filling up the attendance right now. Attendance will be closed exactly at 9:18, guys. Please start filling up the attendance right now. The attendance link is in the live chat. Please start filling up the attendance right now, guys. At exactly 9:18, the attendance will be closed. So please start filling up the attendance right now so that you are not missing out on the attendance. Attendance link, Emmanuel, is in the live chat itself. You guys can see it right over there. I've just filled up the entire live chat with the attendance. I don't think so there should be any problem with understanding where the attendance is. I hope so. Okay. So do fill it out properly, guys. There is a doubt for me. Hello World in JSX and Hello World in Vanilla. Hello World Vanilla is Vanilla JSX. No. So Hello World is JSX, but Hello Vanilla is Vanilla JavaScript. It is the purest form of JavaScript that exists. JSX is a hybrid between JavaScript and HTML created to make sure that your coding journey is a little bit more easy. Okay. Think of writing code entirely in pure JavaScript, which becomes very complicated, very hard to understand. Just these 3 lines of code that was so difficult to understand just for one particular thing on your website. Imagine like buttons, animations, and everything, how complicated it will get for you guys. That is the reason why we use JSX. It makes your coding a little bit more simpler and easy to use. That's it. Okay. I feel we are moving slow. Yes, we are actually moving a little bit slower than expected for me. But and nevertheless, our aim is to understand all the topics properly for everybody. I understand for many of the students, they are a lot brighter, they are a lot faster to understand things, grasp things properly. But for many of the other students, it is a little bit difficult. For me as well, when I was in college, it was very difficult for me to understand anything, and I'm able to relate more to them, right? So for that reason, I always make sure that things are a little bit slow, so that people are able to understand and they don't feel so that everything is rushed right over there. Can we develop a website with different programs? I'm not able to understand the question properly. Could you please elaborate on that? What is the difference between Express and React? For that, you will have to attend the React, like Express.js, Node.js bootcamp. We will be having that in the future as well. Express.js is used in the backend. React.js is used in the front end. That is a basic understanding that I give you. But if you want to go into a little bit depth, do it in the next bootcamp on backend development. We will be posting for it. It is going to be free, right? Okay. When we approach, you don't mind us, sir. No, never. Anytime you guys can approach me. What is Web3? So Web3 is basically like, how can I explain it to you guys? Have you seen a water bubble? Like, you mix water and soap, and then you make a hole like this, and you blow over it. It makes a very big bubble that looks very pretty, right? And then it bursts away. In a similar manner, that is what Web3 was there. Okay, it is basically big hedge funds, big people investing a lot of money inside of Web3 during the COVID period, which they are not right now. There is no jobs inside of Web3. There is no opportunities inside of Web3 right now. Most of the startups have closed down inside of Web3. Freshers don't get opportunities inside of Web3 a lot. And hence, anybody who is studying Web3 or planning to study Web3, I will suggest them not to do that. Focus upon Web 2.0 first. Learn the entirety of front end, back end, DevOps, cloud computing, UI, UX properly. If you get a job right over there, eventually over time with your experience, you will definitely shift into Web 3.0. But without the knowledge of all this, you cannot learn Web 3. That is just a hoax. That is just something that people say. There are no jobs. There's nothing right over there. And without learning all this about backend web development, DevOps, cloud computing, learning Web3 is just a total waste of time. That is my basic input that I would like to give you guys out. Okay. So if we miss one day attendance, we will get the certificates. See, I always take this into consideration that if you guys miss a 1 day of attendance, you still get the certificates. The reason for that is I am able to understand that on 1 day, you might, due to some reason, miss out on the attendance. So I give that consideration to students so that they receive the certificates even if they are missing a day of attendance. But my suggestion to you guys will be to always attend it as much as possible. Okay. I will not be able to attend tomorrow's session. I contacted our college coordinator from DevTown. No response. Can you suggest a way forward? See, 1 day of missing class is okay. Do not make it a daily habit. That will be my suggestion. Okay. 1 day of missing class, like I said, you will still get your certificates. Do not make it a daily habit. That will be my suggestion for you guys. Okay. Okay. So shall we start with understanding what is the 5 pillars of web development, guys? Shall we start with understanding what is the 5 pillars of web development? Please let me know. The first 2 pillars of web development, I think so we have already understood the front end of a website and the back end of a website, right? The back end is basically the kitchen that is there inside of the restaurant where the entire food is cooked. Your vegetables are stored inside of refrigerators. Your spices are stored inside of refrigerators. Your like meat is stored inside of refrigerators itself. You have all the tools, all the things necessary to create the food that has been ordered by the user. In a similar manner, backend is nothing else but just a huge piece of code. A huge piece of code that contains everything that you require to create what the user has asked you for. The user has asked for the OnePlus TV, like OnePlus, sorry, One Piece anime that he wants to ask, how he wants to watch, that create the particular thing to create the entire One Piece anime videos to make sure that it is getting delivered to the front end of the user. Maybe he has asked that, okay, show me some of the other TV series or other animes that are similar to One Piece. Okay, just finding out all the different, going through the entire refrigerator itself, that is called as the database. Going through the database or the refrigerator where all the movies, all the TV series are stored, finding out all the movies and TV series that are similar to One Piece and showing that to our user. Maybe the user is asking for his logging ID and password. He's putting in his logging ID and password in the front end. So that comes to the backend. Again, backend is just a code. It will go through the list of the user IDs and passwords. You will see that, okay, is the password and the ID matches or not. And according to that, he will get access to the platform, right? So all these different things that happen, the business logic lies inside of the backend. Now, not everybody gets access to the backend code. Reason, if everybody knew how to create the recommendation engine of Netflix, everybody knew how to give the recommendations like Netflix, then every other platform will be better than Netflix. Nobody wants that. So only a few people working in Netflix have the access to this backend code and the business logic, who are able to make sure that the code remains alive, the code works properly itself. Now, you guys are able to understand code does not live inside of air, right? Code cannot live inside of air. It's not as if that, oh, here is a code flowing away in front of our eyes. It does not work like that. How does it work? It works with a computer. It needs resources. It needs a CPU. It needs a GPU. It needs RAM. It needs storage to actually work properly. Now, John, now this is what we call as servers. Okay, so servers is something that many of you guys might not know of. So let us see how a server basically looks like. I can guarantee you one thing: everybody right over here has seen us like a server at some particular point of time. So let me open up Google Images. Let me search for servers. There are many of the movies or TV series or something else you guys might have seen places like this. Like the protagonist just enters into the room, connects his laptop or his computer to a particular device, like at this rectangle on the top itself, and he's like, "I'm going to hack it. I'm going to download this. I'm going to crash everything right there." Each of these rectangles that you are able to see in this picture is what we call as a server. Think about a server as a laptop without a screen. It has everything that a computer has: a CPU, a great GPU, the best RAM, the best memory, the best storage itself. Everything is the best about it. And for example, cars, right? Everybody has cars, everybody has seen cars. Now, some of the cars that you might purchase are very cheap. They might cost you like 10 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees, 6 lakh rupees. Some premium cars that are there, still you guys can purchase it. If you have a lot of money, you can still purchase like a Mercedes, a BMW, a Porsche. Okay, these are still higher level cars, are very costly cars. But then there are some cars that are made for just one purpose. For example, F1 car. You can't drive an F1 car, right? It is made for just one particular purpose, that is racing. And due to that, each F1 car costs millions of dollars to create. You can't even buy them. It takes millions of dollars because it is a specialized car built for just one particular utilization. Similar to that, these servers are built for just one particular utilization. Although they have all the components, just like a normal laptop, just like a normal desktop, but they are specialized computers made to contain and run the backend code. And hence, these are very costly. A good quality server might cost you upwards of 1 lakh dollars, 80 lakh Indian rupees. 1 lakh dollars, that is the cost of a good server. It does not even have a screen. Still, it is so costly. Now, for us to have our own servers, I don't think so. I don't have that much money. For me, I don't have that much money to just buy my own server to host my own shitty ass website, right? In a similar manner, if let's assume I want to open up my restaurant, I cannot just go and be like, okay, I'll give you 1 crore for this particular location. I want to buy the location and then I'm going to open up my restaurant inside of it. What do? I rent that location, right? Instead of buying that location and rent that location from that particular place. Am I right or wrong, guys? Please let me know. Am I right or wrong? Instead of buying the location, because the location is so costly, I'll rent it out. I'll rent that office space. I'll rent that particular place from us, right? In a similar manner, guys, instead of buying these servers, companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, have millions of these servers. These are very rich companies. They have millions of servers that they themselves have created, manufactured, and bought throughout the entire globe to make sure that their websites never fall down. What they have done is they have provided you platforms for where you can actually rent these servers. So instead of buying these $1 lakh servers, you can actually rent it out for very cheap. For example, you are using it for 5 minutes, you just pay for 5 minutes itself. You use it for 5 years, you just pay for 5 years itself. We're not going to charge you more. Pay as you go. Whatever configuration that you want. You want the most powerful servers? You want the most cheap as bitch ass servers? We'll give you that for free. Some of the servers and that are available on these platforms are actually for free. For example, Amazon has its own platform, that is AWS, which is the biggest platform. Anybody who wants to enter into cloud computing should be learning AWS, not the other platform, because that's 70% market share. That means every single company is actually using AWS and requires AWS. And if you're learning AWS, you can shift to any other platform very easily. For Google, it is GCP, Google Cloud Platform. For Microsoft, is this Azure. Okay, so there are multiple platforms that exist. My suggestion would be go further with AWS. And this concept of getting servers on rent is what we call as cloud computing. Another term that you might be very familiar with. Now, you guys might heard about this term called as API. Okay, think about it. So when you are sitting in the restaurant, do you directly call the like chef that, okay, chef, I want to eat butter chicken? Do you do this? How do you order inside of a restaurant, guys? How do you order inside of the restaurant, guys? Can you guys let me know? You ask the waiter, right? You call the waiter that, waiter, please come here. I want to eat butter chicken. The waiter takes your information that what do you want? He goes inside the kitchen. He tells the chef that, okay, that particular table number 7 requires butter chicken and garlic naan. That is the waiter who's communicating between the front end and the back end. This is what is called as APIs inside of web development. So if you wanted to understand what is an API, this is the most easiest way I can explain it to you guys. Rallying information between the front end and the back end. Okay, taking up the food from the back end, that is from the kitchen, and serving it to the user. Again, job of the API. Now the next particular, so 3 pillars of web development: front end, back end, and cloud computing. The fourth pillar of web development is called as DevOps. Now, just like DevTown is there, wherein dev basically means development, a town for development, a town for a community of developers itself. In a similar manner, DevOps is made up of 2 words: development and operations. Okay, 2 words: development and operations, guys. Now, for example, have you guys faced this kind of problem wherein something is working fine on your computer? The movie is working fine on your computer, the game is working fine on your computer, maybe something else. But on your friend's computer, when you give that same movie, same game, same software to your friend, it stops working on their computer. They call you up and they abuse the shit out of you. Has this happened with any of you guys? Please let me know. Has this happened with you at any particular point of time, guys? Please let me know. Has this happened with you guys? Please let me know. In a similar manner, think about it. Inside of a company, everybody is using different kind of laptops. Somebody is using a MacBook that is 10 years old. Somebody is using the latest M2 Ultra Max processor laptop itself. Somebody is using a Windows laptop. Somebody is using a Linux laptop. Somebody is using an AMD laptop. Somebody is using an Intel laptop. Multiple people have multiple different laptops that are there. And everybody is coding. Everybody is developing their own softwares itself. Now they have to share these softwares with each other. For example, if something is working fine on my computer and I give it to my boss that is going to check my work, and it is not working on his computer, he will say that what are you doing, you little piece of shit? What are you doing right with that? You don't know how to code as well. You'll be telling me that, right? And this was a major problem. This problem between development and operations was a very big problem to be handled at any particular point of time, and companies used to invest billions of dollars to solve this problem. Billions of dollars to solve this problem, guys, and it was not getting solved until and unless the new term came into picture that is called as DevOps. Multiple different things: Docker, Kubernetes, CI/CD, GitHub version control, the Ansible, a lot of different things that came into the picture. Maven. These softwares basically help to streamline this development and operation structure itself. Now, this is just one of the problem statements that is solved using DevOps. There are multiple different problem statements that exist. For example, DevOps, what will it do is that any software that you're developing inside of your computer, irrespective of what is the OS, irrespective what is the hardware, will work the exact same manner in any other computer inside of the entire world. That is the first problem statement that DevOps solved. And subsequently, there were multiple different problem statements that were there that were solved using DevOps, were the most fastest growing fields as well. The That is the fourth pillar of web development. The last thing related to web development, and one of the weakest things according to me, like in which I am the weakest, not like it is the weakest, I am the weakest at it. So you have seen my drawings, right? How are my drawings? Some of this drawings you have already seen, right? I've tried to draw some of these things for you, maybe a wall, maybe a brick itself. You guys are able to see that it's not nice, right? It does not look nice, right? Now, what happens right over there is that I'm not good at drawing. I'm not good at understanding colors. I'm not good at designing stuff. But if your website does not look amazing, nobody is going to use it, right? If your website is not appealing, if your website is not good looking, nobody is going to use it. Where should a button be? Should the button be on the top left corner? Should the button be on the top right corner? What will be easier for the user to click upon? How large the button should be? Should it be too large that okay, the entire screen is just the button? It shouldn't be too small that the thumb of the person is not able to click on that, right? All these different problem statements are there. Which colors to use, where to put the picture, how should the entire website look like, is solved by UI UX. Okay, UI UX, or user interface and user experience. This is the field in which you design websites, you create awesome looking websites, and they are the people who we as developers hate the most. Okay, because they will design some beautiful thing that is totally impossible to code for us, right? So see, although this is the fifth pillar of web development, it is not actually inside of development. Okay, UI UX designers, just they're like painters. They paint shit. They create how the website should look like. They give us a screenshot that okay, this is how the website should look like. And as engineers, as developers, it is our job to create the front end, our job to figure out the back end, the logic for that, our job to interconnect both of them using APIs, our job to host the entire thing on cloud computing services, our job to orchestrate the entire thing using using the entire DevOps, so that even if a million people are coming on that platform, it actually works fine. They just create a screenshot. Now, as a UI UX developer, there's a lot of UI UX developers out there. They don't earn a lot. That's one of the major reasons most of the people don't enter into UI UX. Not a lot of jobs available as well. Very few companies actually hire for UI UX designers. They don't hire a lot. That is the major problem. A lot of people learn UI UX, but they don't hire a lot in that particular field, and hence most of them remain unemployed. Getting projects is very difficult inside of UI UX. If you're not good at it, you will not be able to get a good project right over there. Okay, but inside of development, if you are a particular person who knows a little bit of front end, a little bit of back end, who knows how to deploy the entire thing on cloud computing services, who knows how to orchestrate the entire thing using DevOps, they are the most in demand people out there in the industry. For example, just at DevTown, previous month we have placed the entire batch. So we have a training program. We placed the entire batch. 100% of the students got their placements with an average placement of 18 lakhs per annum. Highest placement of 58 lakhs and lowest placement of 11 lakh, 11.2 lakhs per annum. Lowest placement as well. And the entire batch got placed because full stack engineers, people who know a little bit of front end, back end, DevOps, cloud, practically as well as theoretically as well, properly have good projects under that, are very highly in demand in any industry. Because no matter if you're using an AI website like ChatGPT, it is also created using full stack development. It cannot exist without full stack developers. You're using Amazon, full stack development. You're using Flipkart, full stack development. You're using Netflix, full stack developers. You're using any website, any internal applications as well, any Android apps, iOS apps, full stack developers. So they're never going to be out of demand at any particular point of time, and companies always require good quality full stack engineers. Not see if you're just learning React.Js, it's not up to the mark. anybody can learn that within 30 days, and that is not sufficient enough to get a job anymore. So you will have to push yourself a little bit. You guys are doing the good thing. You guys are continuously learning. The boot camps are there. Learn it properly. Create projects. Push yourself a little bit more. Create your own projects as well. Learn as much as possible. Grow as much as possible. Ask us if you're stuck at any particular point of time. We are there to help you guys out with everything. But learn. Do not stop learning. Okay. I know there will be parties, there will be functions, you will be behind a girl or behind a boy, but your career is what will set you up for the rest of your life. Try to run behind that. That will be my suggestion to you guys. Okay. DevOps bootcamp when? Do you want a DevOps bootcamp? We can have the DevOps bootcamp next month, second week, because I already have a bootcamp starting from third that is going to be on Python and artificial intelligence. Shall we have a DevOps bootcamp, guys? Next month. Next month, for sure, we'll have one DevOps bootcamp and one cloud computing bootcamp. What do you say? One DevOps bootcamp, one cloud computing bootcamp, guys. Shall we do that? Yes? Okay, so if you guys say something, I have to follow. I have no other option right over here. Okay, it was great to have this talk with you guys. Make sure that you guys are trying to learn as much as possible, grow as much as possible. You're going in the right direction. Just that, have a little bit more persistence, a little bit more willpower. I'm able to see in every one of you who has stayed behind in today's class. Okay, I believe in you guys. I hope so that you also believe in yourself. Do not become overconfident that I've learned a programming language, I'm going to get a job. That is not going to happen. But believe in the fact that if I work hard, if I study the right things, if I get to a certain level, I will definitely get a good job, and I can guarantee you guys that I see the potential within each and every one of you. Okay. Okay. So we'll end the class right over here. We'll meet in tomorrow's class once again, and we'll continue our class from right over there, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, guys. Bye, guys. Bye. Bye. Bye.